Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades Sir, welcome back to the channel for another update on Bitcoin. So, a lot has happened in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin has just wiped out more than 42 billion worth of its market cap as we plummet from major areas of support. Once again, bears are looking like the cool kids of the town as cumulative short positions do stack up in the markets. We're going to talk about in this video why the next 48 hours is so important for Bitcoin in terms of the higher time frames. Is the short mentality currently a crowded trade for Bitcoin? And more importantly, what are the next price targets you should keep your eyes on? So let's start off with the news. A report from the Wall Street Journal came out yesterday stating that Elon Musk's company SpaceX has sold their entire stash of Bitcoin totaling $373 million. This caused an absolute wave of 160,000 liquidations in the market, totaling over 386 million worth of long liquidations and 42 billion worth of the Bitcoin market cap being wiped out after a 7.5% drop in a mere 20 minutes. Now, so far myself and other reputable news sources have been scouring the internet trying to find any legitimacy to this claim, and so far it does seem like there is no evidence to confirm these reports. So at least as of right now, I'm not stating that this is unfactual. I am just merely stating that this is a rumor. There is currently no evidence to confirm the report that SpaceX has sold any of their Bitcoin. But as I'm sure you know, the cryptocurrency markets don't care too much for fact checking, and the liquidations happen nonetheless. So far following this news, you can see Bitcoin has broken to the downside of the bull market support bands, the weekly EMA ribbons, the 2023 ascending trend line, which has been holding Bitcoin up throughout the entire year, and the 200-week moving average, something which we predicted in our last few videos, letting you know that Bitcoin and altcoins were in trouble. Now, I just want to show you this one chart before we do dive over into the higher timeframes, and I'm going to let you know what I think is going to be happening next for the markets. I do just want to let you know, on some exchanges, Bitcoin did bounce from this mega trend line, which we have been detailing on the channel for absolutely ages now. This is something we drew out since all the way back here on the 9th of May 2022. You can see this was resistance here, this has been hit as support, and we are currently hitting this trend line as support right now. But of course, when there's support, there's resistance, and Bitcoin has slipped to the downside of all of the most important levels of support. We've been detailing this on the channel in terms of the most important Bitcoin chart. We've been letting you know that these two resistance boxes in orange and red currently above us, ranging between 32,000 and 28,000, were the most important resistances for Bitcoin to beat if we did want to see a bull run take place. And as you can see, like we've been talking about on the channel, we personally believe these are going to be resistance and we are going to come back down to the downside. This is what we saw yesterday. You can see Bitcoin has absolutely annihilated through all of these most important trend lines. And this is where the most important part of today's video is, guys. We have 48 hours until the next weekly candle body close, approximately 48 hours, coming into Sunday's close. If Bitcoin does not manage to rally back above at least the 200-week moving average at 27,400, I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin, and the price targets, which we will talk about in just one second, will be looking like they're coming into fruition. However, there are some other price targets that you do want to keep your eyes on. So we have approximately 48 hours to make a decision. If we manage to close beneath 27,000, we will be closing beneath EMA ribbons on the weekly, will be closing beneath bull market support bands, these major resistance boxes, and also the 200-week moving average. However, do bear in mind, 27,400, the 200-week moving average, this is the level that I have my eyes on. I think if Bitcoin closes beneath 27,400, then the price targets in the higher time frames coming all the way down to this macro CME gap at 20,300 are personally what I will have my eyes on. And if we do come over to the weekly time frame, you can also see this trend line, which we recently talked about in some of our recent videos. This is coming into contact round about 21,000. So between 21,000 and 20,300 in the higher time frames, guys, if we do manage to close beneath 27,400, and also, of course, if we close beneath 27,000, that is literally every single support lost. And at which point, I believe we will be getting ready for a major move back down to the downside. Now, do bear in mind, during the last major correction back down to 24,500, we did manage to close a weekly candle body close on the bull market support bands, which is why I'm letting you know if we do close beneath 27,000, then pretty much all hope is lost for the markets. However, there could be a contrarian take on this. At this moment in time, if we do come over to the Bitcoin CME futures, you can see we have actually formed a new CME gap back up here at 27,500. And if we are coming over to the Bitcoin exchange liquidations map, you can currently see it is once again called to be a bear, as cumulative short positions are absolutely stacking up in the market. So I want to talk about, is this currently a crowded trade? Although in the higher time frames, I am absolutely bearish. As I'm sure all of you know, if you watch my videos, I'm personally predicting new bear market lows for Bitcoin. I of course think in the macro time frames we come down to these price targets. However, at this moment in time, the markets have switched relatively quickly into a short position. And at this moment in time, shorting seems very, very risk on, and this kind of does seem like a crowded trade to me. So I'm going to talk about exactly what I would need to see to enter a short position on Bitcoin. And it's very, very simple, guys. I would love to see a weekly candle body close beneath 27,000. I would like to point out, before I come over to the daily time frame, on the weekly, the macro trend is coming down. The stochastic RSI on the weekly has lots of room to move down. The monthly stochastic RSI is on the precipice of crossing into a bearish trend. It is literally touching right now. I do believe by the end of this month, we will get a new reading on the stochastic RSI, and when we do get that next data point over here in September, I believe the moving averages in the stock will cross to the downside. But over on the daily time frame, it's looking like the stochastic is at least relatively close to a bottom. Now, this could end up bottoming out in the next few days, and like I said, this is currently a crowded trade in the lower time frames. I wouldn't be looking to short at this region. I wouldn't be looking to short at this moment in time, even though I think in the higher time frames we come down. What I would love to see is a weekly candle body close beneath 27,000. I would love to see the daily stochastic RSI reset and push back up to the upside and fill this new CME gap that we've got right here. Let's call this CME gap 1.5. Now, why would this be more brutal than just filling a CME gap? Let's say we come down, we close round about this region, 25, 27, whatever it is, and we push back up and retest round about 27,500. Guys, we would fill this CME gap, and then I would be believing we'd be coming down to 20,300, but it gets more brutal than that. If we come over to the weekly time frame and get rid of the stochastic RSI so we can really focus on this, a pushback up filling the CME gap at 27.5 could retest this massive horizontal resistance box, which I've been talking about on the channel for ages. This could come into correlation with a retest of the 200-week moving average, a retest of the bull market support bands, a retest of the weekly EMA ribbons. And not only that, guys, if we come over to this chart over here, we've been talking about this massive potential head and shoulders pattern, which is becoming more and more convincing by the day, with a price target down at 18,500. If we do manage to push up and get stuck round about 27.5 to 28, this, in my opinion, would be a beautiful place to enter a short. Once the stochastic RSI has reset, this would be a bearish breakdown from this 2023 head and shoulders pattern, with a retest of the 200-week moving average, with a retest of the head and shoulders neckline, with a retest of the weekly EMA ribbons, the bull market support bands, and this massive rectangular resistance. At this moment in time, I'm not saying Bitcoin can't break down further. Of course, in the higher time frames, you know my thoughts. If you've watched my videos, if you want more in-depth analysis, be sure to check out yesterday's video. This Bitcoin chart is terrifying. Only 24 hours ago, we made a video saying Bitcoin and altcoins are in trouble, and you can see how this one has aged. 2 days ago, we made an in-depth video regarding the options market, the bonds market, the equity markets, the cryptocurrency markets, etc. In this video, The Big Short 2.0, we've been talking about everything from economic data and all the markets in the world and why we believe in the macro time frame. We're getting ready for a breakdown, but at least in the immediate short term, I would not be entering a short while this is a crowded position. I would be hoping for a pushback up to 27,500 following a bearish close underneath 27,000, and that is exactly what I'm hoping for. I'm not saying this 100% has to happen for us to break down to the downside. We could just continue breaking down to the downside. What I am letting you know is I would not be entering a short unless we're from a position of strength, And at this moment in time, I do not see this as a position of strength. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. I put emphasis on this video focusing on the next 48 hours coming into the weekly candle body close, specifically because I'm going to be away from the markets for the next 48 hours. I've got some business to attend over in London, so I am going to be away from my PC. However, make sure you come and follow me over on Twitter at 618_cowboy. While I will be away from YouTube for the next 48 hours, I will be active over on Twitter. If I see anything important develop, if I see any important charts, news, economic data, and developments in the markets, you will be the first to know if you follow me over on 618_cowboy over on my Twitter. I will be back on Monday. Once again, I can't emphasize the importance of what happens in the next 48 hours enough. This is probably going to be one of the most important, if not the most important, weekly candle body close that Bitcoin has seen in all of 2023. Keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes on 27,000 to 27,400. If we close beneath this level, it is going to look like we have much more room to move to the downside in the macro. However, in the micro, I would love to see this CME gap get filled. I would love to short from a position of strength, not a position of weakness. For today, my friends, that's all I've got. As always, if you're enjoying the content, you know what to do. Make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Smash that like button. Share the videos with your friends. If you want to further support the channel, feel free to click the join button over on YouTube. Become a member today. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'll see you very, very soon. I'm out. Peace.